Following the neighbouring state of Tamil Nadu, the Kerala government moved the Supreme Court against Governor Arif Mohammed Khan for not signing some bills passed by the state legislature, thereby not discharging his constitutional duties. State Law Minister P Rajeev said that withholding the bills indefinitely was unconstitutional and anti-democratic.
We have filed a petition to protect the constitution. As per Article 200, the governor shall give an assent or withhold or send to the president whenever, as soon as possible, after passing a bill or send to the governor for his assent. But several bills are pending for years. 4 bills are pending before the governor for his clearance the last 2 years. Some bills are pending the last 1 year. Then as per constitution, if the honorable governor has any objections or any clarification is required, he can send it back to the legislature as per the provision of Article 200. That has happened during this 2-year period. It is actually against the constitutional provision. That is why we have approached the Supreme Court for a decision. The reasonable time as soon as may be, that as early as possible. That is interpretation by the Supreme Court in different judgments. The executive has no role. Somebody asked why is Chief Minister go to him and explain the details of the bill. If you get time to go through the Article 167 of the Constitution, it is clearly explained the responsibility of the Chief Minister. Inform him about the Council of Ministers decision with regard to the administrative decisions and proposal for legislation. Very specific. 167, 1 and 2. That is only for proposal for legislation. Why it is mentioned as proposal for legislation? That is, the executive has the right to form the proposal for legislation, a draft bill. Whenever a bill is introduced in the House of the People, whether it is legislative assembly, in some states it is a legislative council, then it is a property of the House. Then why this provision in this bill? The governor can ask only to the legislature, not to the executive. It is the will of the House. Then the governor should be informed about the proposal of the bill. That is already happened. Whenever a bill is approved by the Council of Ministers, it is informed to the governor. If he wants any clarification with regard to the proposal, at that time he can seek the clarification from the Chief Minister or the executive. But whenever a bill is passed, the provision is very clear. It's sent back to the House seeking any clarification with a message clearly mentioned. Then the House should discuss that message of the governor, and they can adopt or they can approve the bill with or without the amendments sent to the governor, and he should give assent with or withholding. That is very clear in the constitutional provision. That is not happened in state of Kerala. That is why we have approached the Supreme Court of the country. Now we are living in a democratic system. So constitution is supreme. Every constitution bodies or constitutional provision should follow the articles of the Constitution, should discharge their duties in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution, and it should be with the content and spirit of the Constitution. And the Constitution should lead with the legislative intent of the Constituent Assembly. While in the Constituent Assembly there was a question mooted to Ambedkar whether the governor can decide his own discretionary power. Then Mr. Ambedkar had given a very specific reply. The governor has no power to act as a governor with his own decision or discretionary power. He should act in the with the advice of the Council of Ministers. It is very clear. One member of the Constituent Assembly has asked whether this position should be an elected position. Then Ambedkar clearly stated that nobody is ready to contest for this a powerless job. That was the reply of the father of the Constitution, B.R. Ambedkar. Then we should read the provisions of the Constitution along with the Constituent Assembly debates to know what is the actual spirit of the Constitution.